You guys have been discussing one of the most historic baseball stadiums, sporting venues really, in the entire country, celebrating its 100th anniversary. We welcome you to Wrigley Field here on the north side of Chicago. This is Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell. And Crucky and I have been given the opportunity and the honor to broadcast from the bleachers tonight, so we came into the ballpark along with some fans down the right field line, climbed up a whole mess of steps up to our location here in right field, and here we are settling in a couple of hours ago and getting a very unique perspective on a baseball game, one that neither one of us has ever had before when we've had microphones in our hands. Welcome to Chicago. Glad you're with us, Dan Schulman and John Kruk, and you've been saying, as long as I've known you, this is one of your favorite places to come watch a baseball game.
Without question. The fans are electric. Even if the two teams were playing, my team, the Phillies, and the Cubs weren't very good, this place is fun to come to. There's no foul territory, so you loved hitting here. When the weather was warm, the wind blowing out, Dan, nothing better. This is paradise.
And at some point tonight, you'll tell us as much as you can about your interaction with Cub fans back in the day, right?
If I can keep it clean, Dan, I'll do my best.
As for the St. Louis Cardinals, the visiting team here tonight, one thing you've expected from the Cardinals in recent years is a potent offensive team, but that has not been the case so far this year. What's wrong with the Cardinals offense?
Well, they're not hitting with runners in scoring position. The last 2 years, they led all of baseball with hitting with runners in scoring position, and this year it's not happening. Matt Carpenter last year, leadoff hitter, 55 doubles. This year he's struggling at the plate, so now there's not a lot of runners in scoring position. Mike Matheny said, look, there better be a sense of urgency because we need to get this thing going and going quickly. Yadier Molina batting second tonight, a change in the lineup.
Cardinals are under 500. They'll take on the Cubs, who have won the first two games of this series. You can see some retro uniforms back to 1929 for both teams tonight. We'll tell you more about that over the course of the evening. Coming up, as always, Barry Larkin with his best web gems of the day, and Crucky and I will do the best we can when we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game during the seventh inning stretch. Welcome to Chicago. This is Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN from Wrigley Field.
again, everybody. Harry Carey at Wrigley Field on this noteworthy night indeed. And this bud's for you, Bill Murray.
Dying under these lights until you handed me this.
If I'm an extension of anything, I'm an extension of the fan.
Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win!
But I've done it my way.
You know, Aunt Lou's name spelled backwards is Eula.
Don't worry about foul balls, Mr. President. I'll protect you.
What, do I have cows in this ballpark?
I'll bet you if you put a microphone in front of the fan, his voice pattern would be the same as mine.
Way back! It might be! It could be! There it is! Holy cow! Listen to this crowd!
Well, he is loved and revered by everyone who has been a Cubs fan. You know, the ironic thing is he was a Cardinals broadcaster for more years than he was a Cub broadcaster. But, Crucky, he always, I think, will be associated most of all with the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, without question. I mean, he was the Chicago Cubs. And when we were playing against him, day games, you know, before they had the lights, and we'd come out there, and Harry would come out for batting practice. And let's just say he had a great night the night before.
The lineup cards are being exchanged on this chilly Sunday night here at Wrigley Field, and here is a bit of a chilly Cardinal offense. They were shut out yesterday, and after leading the National League in runs scored last year, they sit third from the bottom in the National League in runs scored so far this year. That's why one of the reasons why Mike Matheny is shaking it up and moving Yadier Molina up to the 2 spot in the lineup. They will face a guy who's pitching extremely well so far this year for the Cubs. That's right-hander Jason Hamill, and with more on him, let's go to Buster Olney.
Yeah, and you're right. 4-1 with a 2.08 ERA. Now, before he signed with the Cubs, Hamill called his friend Scott Feldman, who he played with the Baltimore Orioles last year, and Feldman told him, hey, you know what? Sign there. Work with Chris Bosio, their pitching coach. It certainly worked for Feldman. Remember, after the Cubs traded him last year, he went out on the market. He got a 3-year, $30 million deal, and it could be, if Hamill continues to pitch well, he could be out on the trade market as one of the best pitchers available, Dan.
All right, Buster, thank you. And his 3 previous stops, Crucky, have been Tampa Bay, Colorado, and Baltimore. So 2 teams in the American League East, tough division to pitch in, and, of course, pitching at altitude in Denver. Here he is with the wind blowing in so far, and he's pitching very, very well, but he might be just in a better situation than he's been in at the previous stops of his career.
Yeah, he's in a great situation right here in Wrigley Field, because at this time of year, the wind rarely ever blows out. And, you know, that's easy for a pitcher to exploit. You know, you get behind the count, you can just throw something down and away or even up and away and let them try to hit it as far as they can, because it's not going anywhere when the wind's blowing in.
Now, if anybody gets one in the air to right field and hits it out here, is that glove for show, or are you going to wear that baby and make a play?
Well, I don't know, Dan. I'll attempt, but I don't know how we're going to work it.
Well, Sherholtz just threw one into the stands just to the right of us. Well, because between the two of us, there's little doubt you're the guy who should be wearing the glove. We would agree on that.
It's debatable, Dan. That's debatable.
We are ready. You can see, you just saw our vantage point from behind us. We're in the first row with the right field bleachers as we get ready for baseball, with the Cardinals and Cubs both wearing 1929 jerseys. That's the first year when the Cubs were in this ballpark that they went to the World Series. Wrigley Field turning 100 this year. It opened in 1914. The Cubs began here in 1916. The Chicago Whales of the Federal League played here for a couple of years, and then the Cubs took over in 1916, and they have been here ever since.
That Whales team was a big pitching and defensive squad. Yeah.
Ready for baseball. Angel Hernandez is the home plate umpire. Jason Hamill's on the mound. Matt Carpenter's in the box. And we are underway with the first pitch strike. Carpenter had a magnificent season a year ago. Hit .318, smashed 55 doubles. Seems like he was on base all the time and really jump-started that Cardinal offense. And you wonder, the leadoff hitter was so important in any lineup. If he can get going, you wonder if it really has a domino effect on the lineup.
It really does, because normally he's on second base. Now, the stolen base is not in the St. Louis Cardinals repertoire. They thought they might have had that with Peter Borges and Colton Wong, but those two offensively haven't worked out. Colton Wong since being sent down, but you know, Carpenter has to hit doubles because he's not going to steal bases, and then they move him along from there.
Up high, 3 balls and a strike. Hamill has walked only 7 batters in 34 2/3 so far on the season, but he's behind the leadoff hitter here.
And this is a situation we talked about. It's 3-1. Throw it over the center of the plate, and if Carpenter hits it in the air, you got an out.
And a foul ball down the left field line. This is a whole new experience out here, huh? You and I just dealing with a broadcast from out here, trying to see exactly where the ball is from our vantage point. Home plate's awfully far away.
It's a long way, and I didn't think the sun would bother the broadcast team. But yes, it does.
If we lose one in the sun, you'll have to bear with us.
Well, I hope it hits me, Dan.
I hope it does too. And there's a liner down into left field, a base hit for Carpenter. And that'll bring out Yadier Molina. Mike Matheny has mentioned moving him into the 2 spot for the first time this year. He hit there 12 times last year. But last year, of course, they had Carlos Beltran, who hit in that spot a lot. And the Cardinals, as much as any team, they've kind of gone away from what a 2-hitter used to be. And they like a guy who could do some damage in the 2 spot.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with back-to-back doubles or if your second hitter hitting a home run. But Yadier Molina is very adept at hitting the ball the other way. And with the big hole now at first base with Carpenter on, you might see a first to third situation.
Well, no team has used as many number 2 hitters already this season as the Cardinals have. 7 different hitters in the 2 spot a month into the season. We asked Mike Matheny before the game, are the hitters frustrated or are the hitters kind of calm and relying on the track record that most of them have? And he said in the back of their mind, they're relying on the track record, but in the front of their mind, they're frustrated. And he's talked about guys going down the tunnel and smashing bats after at bats. There is some frustration on this team.
Yeah, and this is a great place to do it. They have a big tunnel. There's a lot of things to damage down there.
Yep.
But you can't get hurt unless something bounces off one of the concrete walls.
Carpenter the lead. And pop back out of play. A ball and a strike on to Molina. The Cubs won on Friday 6-5. The Cardinals made a comeback but fell just short. And then the Cubs won yesterday 3-0. Jake Arrieta making his first appearance of the season for the Cubs. He and 5 relievers combined to shut out St. Louis. And a ball hit to deep right field. Scherholtz back, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Carpenter had gone all the way to second, and he's going to be doubled off.
That's a base running mistake by Matt Carpenter right there. Yeah, Yadier Molina hits this ball well, but you got to know with the wind blowing in that ball, even though it was hit well, it's not going out of the ballpark. And Scherholtz, a really good defensive outfielder. You know, that's one with no outs. You got to be more careful if you're Matt Carpenter. Go halfway or 3/4 of the way, but you can't round the base and expect to get back in time. You got no outs. Why risk it?
Now swinging a foul back by Matt Holliday. So just like that, after a leadoff single, all of a sudden 2 outs, nobody on.
But you talk about pressing, Dan, in the batter's box. There's also pressing on the bases. Matt Carpenter's trying to make something happen. We need to score a run. We got shut out yesterday. Let's get on the board early. And he makes a base running mistake, and now there's 2 outs with no one on base.
It's been another problem for the Cardinals this year. They have made a lot of outs on the bases. 16 already this season. That's the second most in the National League. So they're not hitting for power. They don't steal bases. They're making outs on the bases. There's a ball hit to deep left field, but it will be caught on the track by Kalish. And just like that, what looked like it might have been a promising inning ends without any damage being done by the Cardinals. Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell Breakfast. Wake up, live Mas. And in part by Chevrolet. Celebrate the new season with Chevrolet. Share your excitement using hashtag the new.
You wanna go? Well, that depends on how much money you got in your pocket.
Well, Wrigley Field's been around a long time, and so have many of the people who are working here. That's Mike Dower, who's been the electrician here for 40 years, since 1974. He followed in his dad's footsteps. He had the job starting in 1963. Welcome back to Chicago. Dan Schulman, John Kruk, Buster Olney. Sunday Night Baseball on a fun night here at Wrigley as we go to the bottom of the first. And Lance Lynn is on the mound for the Cardinals as Emilio Bonifacio steps in and takes outside ball one. Lynn is off to a good start. He is 4-1 on the season with an ERA of 3.60. A great strikeout to walk ratios. Bonifacio is going to try to use his speed, but he will be thrown out. And that will take us to tonight's Cubs lineup. Brought to you by Taco Bell. You have seen Bonifacio. Really the keys so far this year, Crucky, have been Rizzo and Castro.
Well, they're the cornerstones. This is what they're trying to build this team around. The power of Anthony Rizzo at first base and Starlin Castro, what everyone thought was going to be a great everyday player. But you have to remember, he's still very young. Yes, he has made a lot of mistakes, but he seems to be more comfortable this year with what he's doing on the baseball field, more confident with what he's doing. That's why he's hitting fourth now in this Cubs lineup.
The number 2 hitter is Luis Valbuena, the third baseman, hitting .210 so far on the season. Cubs offense hasn't been great. It's been a little bit better than the Cardinals offense has been so far. The Cubs are just 11-17 on the season, but they have won 3 in a row, including the first 2 of this series, and that's their first series win of the season, regardless of what happens tonight, obviously.
Well, and I'm sure that Rick Renteria, this is something that he hopes they can build upon. Getting that first series win after a month of games played, that's a long time to wait.
And a strikeout for Lynn for out number 2. So the big right-hander now will face Anthony Rizzo, who is as likely as anybody, I suppose, in this lineup to send one out our way. He's a left-handed hitter with power as Crucky dons the glove. 6 home runs on the season and an on-base percentage of .421 already. Are you feeling good
about catching it?
Yeah. That's really my only.
He's got a better chance of hitting one than I do of catching one. I can tell you that. I would like to thank Ryan Kalish for loaning me a glove, right? Because obviously he's seen me play.
And as you said to Kalish and to me before, you last caught a pop-up or a fly ball in 1994.
Yeah. 95, I was a DH and played one game at first.
Shift is on, 3 on the right side against Rizzo. 2 outs, nobody on, no score, bottom of the first. Now, if he hits one out here and you catch it, you keep it. But if a Cardinal hits one out here, then I think protocol dictates you have to throw it back.
Or I can give it to them. One of them to throw back because my arm's worse than my pop-up catching skills.
Just outside, ball 3. Rizzo's a guy who can use the whole field with power. And both he and Castro signed to 7-year deals by the Cubs. There's a strike at the knees, full count. Lynn, a lot of fastballs, a lot of 2-seamers, tries to stay down around the knees as much as he can as Castro waits on deck. He's done a great job since moving into the cleanup spot. And there's a ball ripped into right field. He found a seam in that shift. Big turn, but he'll stop with a 2-out single.
Well, 3-2, Lance Lynn, 3-1 pitch. Lance Lynn made a great pitch, and now Yadier Molina wants this ball inside. He kind of drifts over more the center of the plate, and Rizzo This hits one right down. You see Matt Adams, he's almost playing no doubles defense against Anthony Rizzo. And nothing you can do. The shift, you can shift all you want, but I don't think you're going to put a guy there. Great play by Alan Craig to get to that ball and keep Rizzo at first base.
So a 2-out base runner for the Cubs in the bottom of the first, and that brings up the shortstop Starlin and Castro. Not a guy you think of as a cleanup hitter, really, but that's where he has been recently. And he's been 12 for 28 since he moved to that spot. Just 24 years of age. Seems like he's older than that. Seems like he's been around 4 years already. But a guy who, it seems, Crucky, has taken some big steps forward this year. Consistency, work ethic, maturity, those types of things.
Yeah, and Rick Renteria downplayed his importance to his development, but yeah, it has to be a big boost to a guy like Starlin Castro. The fact that Renteria is bilingual, he can converse in Starlin Castro's native language, and I think that's a big thing for a young kid playing, especially in this city, to be able to communicate with him on his level. The talent's always been there. It's can he put it together for 162 games without making all the mental mistakes that he's made?
High in the air, but not deep at all. As trotting in center field is Grichuk to make the catch and end the inning. One complete at Wrigley. No score between the Cardinals and the Cubs. Top second, Wrigley Field, Cardinals and Cubs on Sunday Night Baseball. Matt Adams leads it off for St. Louis. The cleanup hitter and first baseman, hitting for a great average at .333, only 2 home runs so far. A guy who showed a lot of power last year. And ultimately, they're looking for a little more production out of the cleanup spot as he rounds one out to second for out number 1. Another guy who's got a track record, and they're hoping for more from, is Alan Craig, who led the majors in batting with runners in scoring position each of the last 2 seasons. Hit 400 2 years ago, over 450 last year in such situations. This year hitting only .214 overall, but as you can see, he is starting to heat up, and he's obviously another tremendously important guy in this Cardinal lineup. Yeah, they said his timing was just a little off going into the early part of the season. Said he wasn't timing the fastball right. When you can't time the fastball right, it's hard to time anything else right. But yeah, when he gets it going, Dan, he's one of the best at it in the business as far as driving in runs. Breaking ball there for a strike, and it's 0-2. 44 degrees and dropping here in Chicago, with the wind blowing in from right toward the left field corner. And he got that curveball up a little bit, and maybe a little bit fortunate the ball was fouled back.
Yeah, very lucky that that ball didn't go out of the ballpark. But with the wind blowing in, you can get those.
Kind of two Wrigleys, right? April, May, September Wrigley, and June, July, August Wrigley?
Yeah, we prefer the June, July, but
we the hitters, you're saying?
Or we the broadcasters, or wherever we are.
And Craig providing souvenirs for everybody. Now, some people are more into the Cinco de Mayo spirit than the.
That is tomorrow.
That is tomorrow.
Yeah. Be in beautiful Bristol, Connecticut. Where will you be, Dan?
I will be back north of the border in Toronto. Watching you in Bristol, Connecticut. Down and away, a ball and 2 strikes. We'll see the Cardinals again next week. We'll see them next Sunday night in Pittsburgh.
You ever been to that ballpark?
I have. It's beautiful.
Unbelievably beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's the second best.
I would agree, and I would agree with which one you got number 1. Assuming it's San Francisco.
Yeah. Very good assumption.
But Wrigley, Fenway in a whole separate category.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they're in different categories just for what all's gone on in those buildings. No, Veterans Stadium won't be on the list.
Your old home?
I loved it, but
100th anniversary of Wrigley Field. And just such a unique ballpark between the brick wall and the ivy and the scoreboard. No lights till 1988.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Yep. When the ivy comes in nice and green, it's beautiful. But man, if you're an outfielder, not so much.
Still a brick wall.
It's still a brick wall with a couple of leaves protecting you, and branches, which is just really fun when they. Not only do you disturb your whole body when you run into it, but then you get poked in the eye with the. It's just great.
And out at first is Craig, 2 down. Well, as we've mentioned, we're out in the right field bleachers, and we had a play in the first inning. This ball hit to deep right field, and because of where we are, kind of tough to see Sherholtz, so you got to get into the game, Truckee. Ball hit to deep right field. Sherholtz back, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Carpenter had gone all the way to second, and he's going to be doubled off. We actually can't see what's below us without getting up and getting out there a little bit.
And I couldn't get up because my feet don't touch the ground in our chairs.
You're like the little kid on the big adult stool. You can't touch the ground down there.
I can't.
I'm so sad for you.
Yeah, well. Vertically challenged. See, I can't.
There you are.
They just kind of dangle down there.
2 down, and this is Johnny Peralta, the shortstop.
I'm short and chubby. What the heck?
But
you have everything, Dan.
But they love you here.
Well, we'll see. Let's play that one by ear.
You're a man of the people. If you had lived in Chicago and come to a game here as a kid, you'd have sat in the bleachers.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to come back. I want to come back someday and sit in the bleachers just to experience it.
I tell you what, why don't you take the 4th inning off and hop over that fence and go sit with the good folks here tonight. See how that goes.
Yeah, but they know I'm here.
3-1.
Well, some do.
We have some video that we're going to run later. I don't know where our guys found this video. This is when Crucky was playing for the Phillies back in the 90s, and it's his interaction with some Cub fans in the bleachers. It's good stuff. Here's ball 4. We'll play it as time allows over the course of the evening. A 2-out walk issued to Peralta, and that'll bring up the young center fielder, Randall Grichuk, who is one of the players the Cardinals called up. They made a couple of changes trying to jumpstart the offense. Peter Borges is still with the Cardinals, but he's not playing much right now. He didn't hit. So Grichuk is a guy who hit well at AAA and one of 3 young outfielders that the Cardinals are excited about. These are his numbers with Memphis before he got called up And they're just trying to see if anybody that they can find can help ignite the offense. Mike Matheny told us before the game that ball squirts through the legs of John Baker, the catcher, and up to second on the play goes Peralta. Told us before the game, they can measure anything these days, that the ball comes off Grichuk's bat at times at 115 miles an hour, and he said that's really rare air for a major league for any hitter.
Yeah, and that's where you get excited about this young kid too, because you know that there's some pop in this bat, and the Cardinals desperately need some power production in this lineup, and they're hoping this young kid can provide it for them.
Goes around, and it's a ball and a strike. A wild pitch charged to Hamill to take Peralta up to second with 2 down.
And that's a big difference in minor league baseball and big league baseball. 1-0 pitch, Hamill throws him a slider and he chases it. The minor leagues, you probably more than likely when you're behind the count, you're not going to get anything off speed.
Got another breaking ball, and it's 2-1.
Because the last thing a pitcher wants on his resume in AA and AAA is, well, he walks a lot of guys.
Hamill, a guy who's had all kinds of injuries, but he's healthy this year. Signed a 1-year deal with the Cubs and off to a great start this season. And there's a ball lined into right center field. It is down, and it is all the way to the wall, where it sticks in the ivy. Rounding second and heading for third is Grichuk, and he'll be in there in a slide as the run comes in to score, and the Cardinals have a 1-0 lead.
Well, we mentioned what Mike Matheny said about how the ball jumps off this kid's bat. This is a pitch that Jason Hamill just left up in the strike zone. And Grichuk, you hear that sound. Is that just beautiful or what? That just tells you that there's some lightning in that bat, but that's just a perfect swing. He let the ball get deep, the elbow tucked into the rib cage, just smokes one into right center field.
So 1-0 St. Louis, 2 down here in the second. Runner at third, and the batter is the second baseman, Mark Ellis. And a curveball for a strike. First career RBI for the rookie Randal Grichuk, now 3 for 13 in the big leagues. Ellis getting more playing time now. Colton Wong won the job out of spring, started slowly, and got sent down. And Ellis, coming off injury, is back in there now as the second baseman. Began the year on the DL with tendonitis in his knee.
I'm sure the Cardinals would love to have Colton Wong be a very productive player in AAA so they can get him back up here with some confidence.
And there's a liner into left center. And this ball's going all the way to the wall. Another run in to score. And into second is Ellis as the Cardinals now take a 2-0 lead.
You wonder why why Hamill would throw pitches where Ellis can actually get a piece of the bat on the ball with the pitcher coming up next to 2 outs. But even though the Cardinals hitters are work at it, but that's a pretty good piece of hit by Mark Ellis. Not a bad pitch, but that's when you want to get down and away a little further, maybe even bounce it. But a veteran guy like Mark Ellis, he understands that they're probably not going to throw him anything over the plate, fastballs. So he's setting on a breaking ball and hits one in the gap. Now Lance Lynn gets a hit, and we got a 3 spot.
Lynn, the pitcher, takes a strike as we check in with Buster. All right, having some technical difficulties. We'll get back to Buster when we can. 2 runs in here in the second for the Cardinals. And it's 0-2 now on Lynn, who is 1 for 11 so far this season. Chase is in the dirt, and that will end the inning. But the Cardinals get a couple. Grichuk and Ellis deliver run-scoring hits. 2-0 St. Louis through an inning and a half. 100 years of Wrigley Field, April 23rd, the actual anniversary date. Cubs moving here in 1916, and here we are for Sunday Night Baseball, the Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. Nate Scherholtz, the right fielder, who started that double play, making the nice catch in the top of the first inning and then firing a one-hop strike back to first to double off Matt Carpenter. Scherholtz looking for his first home run of the season after hitting 21 a year ago. Down the left field line and back out of play. After Scherholtz, it'll be Ryan Kalish and John Baker. Well, they knew what they were getting themselves into tonight. They came prepared.
They've been here a while.
Yep.
And I'm not just saying tonight.
They do love their Cubbies. They love their Bears. They love their Blackhawks today. And they do have all kinds of ways of showing their love for their Cubbies.
You wonder if he stole it from her. Certainly he didn't come in here with that thing.
Deep into the left field corner, Matt Holliday makes the running catch.
Here's the perils of Wrigley Field. There's not a lot of room in the foul territory, and especially down the lines. There's none. And you have a feeling once you hit that dirt. Look at Matt Holliday concentrating on that ball, but once you hit that dirt, you throw your arms up because you need to be prepared for that wall coming up really quick. And yes, it's padded, but yes, it's brick behind it.
And we talked about some of the unique features here with, as you mentioned, no foul territory. The bullpens are in play too. One of the few ballparks that still has the bullpens in play down the lines, and of course a brick wall with ivy on it that you ran into a time or two.
Yeah, I've had my meetings with it. Yeah.
And you don't win many of those. Huh?
Oh no, it's a lose.
Yeah.
It's a loss. It's a loss. I mean, it's not like it's the ivy's covering the whole wall. There's still a lot of brick behind there that you can see.
You have to warm up a bit for the ivy to fully grow in, of course. Randall Grichuk met the wall and lost on Friday.
And not many winners there.
And you hear all kinds of stories about, the ball going into the ivy, you can't find it, or you come out with another baseball, or rumors of outfielders stashing baseballs in the ivy in case they need, which I can't understand. But who knows what's in there once it fully comes in, right, in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, a lot of things can be hidden in there. But that's
not a lot of protection.
Yeah, if you run into a brick wall, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, though, you don't anticipate the ivy poking you in the eye. You don't expect to get poked in the eye when you run into a wall.
Kalish with a bouncer back to the mound, 2 down. Two to nothing St. Louis. A couple of 2-out hits with a man in scoring position for the Cardinals, just like they did last year. They take a 2-0 lead, and John Baker will bat now with 2 outs for the Cubs. Wellington Castillo is the #1 catcher for Chicago, getting the night off, and Baker is in there catching Hamilton, making his 7th start of the season. Elsewhere in the National League Central today, Cincinnati defeated Milwaukee 4-3. Milwaukee, though, still is atop the division. They are 21-11. Although they've cooled off a little bit lately, they've had some injuries. Cincinnati right now is tied with the Cardinals for second at 15-16. And Pittsburgh lost today, beaten 7-2 by Toronto, so they have fallen a half game behind the Cubs. The Pirates now in the basement of the NL Central. And there are the up-to-date standings. Milwaukee with some great pitching so far this year.
Unbelievable starting pitching. And, you thought Kyle Wojcik, after signing late last year and struggling a little bit, and then knowing he would have a full spring training and Yeah, how'd you like to change that? Can you imagine if that thing changed on a daily basis?
They got to move that Pirates flag down. Yep, they do. They go up there and they change them. And,
they change it on a daily basis if the standings change.
The standings change, yes.
Sometimes,
yeah. That falls under the heading for you and me of couldn't pay us enough.
No. The only thing you can hope for is that it's real windy when it's the day to make the change.
Sprayed foul off to the left. It remains 2-2 on Baker. And Baker and Molina looking over there. That ball went in hard just beyond the dugout, and somebody got hit, as you can see. And Baker looking on with concern. They need to send some medical folks down in a hurry, you would think.
See how Baker's very distraught right now. Even though it's out of his control, you still feel like you're responsible when you do hit someone in the stands.
Two again. Outside. Ball 3. And you can see Molina, Angel Hernandez, they're all still looking over between pitches. Everybody concerned. And a ground ball off the end of the bat, stays fair, and out at first is Baker to end the inning. The Cubs go 1-2-3, and that means they got to update the hand operated scoreboard here at Wrigley. Put a 0 up for the Cubs in the bottom of the second.
Well, that depends on how much money you got in your pocket.
Wrigley Field. It's tradition. It's the 7th inning stretch. Don't screw it up. I root for the whole team. They don't win it this game. 1, 2, 3 strikes are out at the old ball game. I did the 7th inning stretch, and I screwed it up. And I've never been asked back.
I tell you, Crooked, we got some pressure on us tonight, man.
After listening to Coach Ditka, I'm pretty sure we'll be better.
You feel a little bit better?
I'm feeling pretty confident, yeah.
Well, what people need to know is one of the two of us can sing, and it ain't me.
Yeah.
So you're carrying the lead here.
I've gotten some coaching from some of my country friends, Cole Swindell, the Davison brothers. Yeah, they've been coaching me. And their biggest advice, Dan, like when someone's throwing out the first pitch, don't bounce it. Don't forget the lyrics.
Don't forget the words. Yeah.
That's the struggle.
We will give it our best. There's Matt Carpenter. Top of the order, Carpenter, Molina, and Holiday. Here in the third for the Cardinals, who are up 2-0.
Tell you what, old John Baker's having some trouble back there snagging some pitches from Jason Hamill. That one got the umpire. And trust me, that doesn't make an umpire very happy.
Especially in this weather. It's going to hurt a little bit more.
It hurts when it's warm.
Hurts when it's warm, too, yeah. There at the belt, 1-2. Yadier Molina waiting on deck. And a breaking ball to get him for out number 1. Second strikeout of the night for Hamill, and that'll bring up Molina as we take a look at Do More, brought to you by Safeco. And we all talk and admire the defensive skill that Yadier Molina has, but offensively he has also developed Crucky into one of the very best hitting catchers in all of baseball.
Yeah, the defense was never a problem with Yadier Molina from his first days in the big leagues. Offense, though, was a little bit of a struggle for him, but he has turned himself into a guy now you can depend on in the middle of the lineup. Today hitting second, of course, but anywhere you hit him, he's going to be a productive hitter. He's figured it out, and I tell you what, it's fun to watch a guy who was so great defensively, who did such great things with the pitching staff, now come into his own as an offensive player and become that complete catcher.
What do you see as the difference in him as a hitter now, say from 5 years ago?
Confidence, and more power. I mean, he's more aggressive at the plate. He swings, with a purpose now instead of hoping to get a hit. Now he expects to get a hit. Got some ink too.
To right field, and Shearholtz has room to make the catch, 2 down. ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball continues tomorrow night. You'll see the Cardinals again as they take on the Atlanta Braves. It's Monday Night Baseball presented by USAA, and then a rivalry right here in Chicago, the Cubs and White Sox from the South Side on Wednesday night beginning at 8 Eastern, presented by T-Mobile. And it'll be the Cardinals and the Pirates 1 week from tonight on Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. The Cubs will stay home after tonight and host the White Sox tomorrow and Tuesday, and then they will travel down to U.S. Cellular Field for a couple of games there on a Wednesday and Thursday. Here's Matt Holliday. And all of a sudden, the Atlanta Braves, who will take on the Cardinals tomorrow, they're really struggling. They've lost 6 in a row. The Giants just swept them and held them to 1 run in each of the 3 games over the weekend series.
Yeah, it's not going to get it. But this is the Atlanta Braves offense. They're going to have bouts of inconsistency where they don't score runs, and then they're going to drop a 10 spot for a week on you.
And Washington lost today to Philadelphia, so Atlanta's still on top of the National League East by a half game over the Nationals. San Francisco, meanwhile, they are 20-11 on the season. As you look at the congested National League East, every team over 500 and every team within a game and a half.
Think it could last?
No.
Bruce Bochy, what a job he does out there. Every year you think, well, we don't have enough offense, but they score enough to win. Or the pitching's getting a little older. They've thrown too many pitches. But yet they get the pitching when they need it.
And Matt Holliday draws a 2-out walk. Crucky, it's your favorite time of the evening.
Yeah.
Here comes the chow.
My favorite person.
Got some Chicago dogs right here. Loaded. Chicago style.
Oh my gosh.
3 for you and 1 for me.
Yeah, with fries.
The whole deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. We got to do this. We should do this every week from the bleachers.
Yeah.
I think at different ballparks.
Where are we at next week?
Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
That's some good stuff. That's going to be hard to chow down during a 2-minute and 25-second commercial break.
Yeah, there's a quarter of a pickle slice on there. I'm assuming those aren't mild peppers.
No, they don't look mild.
So we might not want those.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot of. It's colorful. I've never seen such colorful hot dogs though. They had it wrapped in bacon. Oh.
Matt Adams sends one to deep left center field, and it's off the wall on the fly. Holiday with 2 outs, running right away, rounding third, heading home. Score standing out. Look at Adams heading down to third, and he's safe. Now, we mentioned they wanted some production out of Adams. They just got some, and the Cubs look like they're going to challenge this, whether Adams was safe at third, or at least go out and wait for the word from the video room before they decide whether or not to challenge. So I'm going to talk to the ump while I face the dugout, while I wait to hear. The ruling on the field was safe, and he was definitely there in time. The question is, did he come off the bag? And I think he might have. That right foot might have left the bag before the left knee got to the bag, and the glove was on him the whole time. But it looks like the Cubs have decided not to challenge.
Might have been too close to call, and either way it's a run, but you still don't want him running on third base out there with 2 outs, even though there is 2 outs, especially the guy who's starting to swing the bats a little better now, and Craig.
So it's a double for Adams. He takes third on the throw to the plate. Double and an RBI for Adams. And it is 3-0 St. Louis as Alan Craig steps in. Slider for a strike. So some big hits tonight for St. Louis. An RBI triple by Randall Grichuk, an RBI double for Mark Ellis, an RBI double for Matt Adams.
The Cardinals last year were so adept with runners in scoring position, hitting the ball up the middle and the other way. Let's see if Hamill plays into that.
Down the right side, but back out of play. Of course, Alan Craig moving out to right field this year, with Carlos Beltran not back. Matt Adams taking over as the everyday first baseman. Last year, Craig generally was the first baseman, and Adams would get in the lineup when he could. At the beginning of the season, maybe a couple of times a week. If somebody got hurt, he would play more, but he was very productive. And so they elected not to re-sign Beltran and move Craig to the outfield, move Adams to first, or install Adams at first on a regular basis.
And that might have been one of those decisions by the Cardinals front office that, you know, Beltran's going to get a multi-year deal. Can he be a productive player on a multi-year deal, or will he be just good for 1 year, maybe 2? And the Cardinals didn't want to take that risk.
Up and in, 2-2.
That's a great pitch. As you know, they're trying to hit the ball the other way. Alan Craig's trying to hit the ball up the middle the other way. Center fielder Shaden, a couple steps toward right field. Scherholtz is playing a little bit less than straight up, more on the opposite field side. You want to try to get him out of the way, you come in to get him out of the way.
Late on the fastball as he sends it out of play. is over. Another run for the Cardinals to make it 3-0, and just as importantly, it's time for Crucky to enjoy dinner. Grab it, Crucky, get going. The clock is ticking.
I will.
Gary Pressey on the organ. Welcome back to Wrigley Field. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Dan Shulman, John Kruk, Buster Olney. The Cardinals lead the Cubs 3-0. Number 8 hitter Darwin Barney, the second baseman, off to a real sluggish start, hitting just .133 on the season. Pops one up shallow left. One down. We told you a little bit earlier, we had some video from back in the day. Crucky is a Philly, talking to Cubs fans.
Come on, Rhino! Right field's open! Cook, man, this is your job on the line. Lord knows they got Murphy to play right field. Give us Dale Murphy! Hey, Cook, I'm a poor college student. How about loaning me some money, buddy? Nice hustle, Cook. Way to go, man. Woo! Woo!
Now, how did you, and maybe we just cut this part of the video out. I mean, you heard it, right? You could hear everything they were saying.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, well, at one point he called me a hillbilly and everything else. That's the thing with these fans, and the left field ones were far more brutal than the right field. They knew everything about you. They knew where you were born. They knew where you were raised. They knew if you had siblings. I don't know how they found all this stuff out, because, I mean, in the 80s, it had to be before Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. Or not Twitter, but Google and all that stuff. I mean, they knew every single thing they can have about you, and they used every bit of it, every game.
Did you enjoy that, or did it bother you, or how did you feel about it?
If we were winning, I thought it was funny, because I thought, get a life. But when we were losing, you're losing, and you're in the midst of an 0-for-4 with a couple punch-outs. Did you ever yell back anything that in hindsight you regretted yelling back? All these years later? No. No. But you did yell back. You just didn't regret it. No, I didn't regret a word I said. Right. They said a lot of things worse than I did. There I am.
Did that guy ever yell at you?
Well, no, that's me. Yeah, see?
Yeah, that's you. You know what's funny is we find you in every ballpark pretty much. So, yeah.
It's amazing how quick I am.
Yeah. I think we'd find a few of you in this ballpark.
Yeah, this is a good place for me.
Yeah. 3-2 on Jason Hamill.
No, and I said things you wouldn't say to anyone in the world, but I said it to those people.
The answer to the question, where were the fans the toughest, is usually Philadelphia, but you played for the Phillies a lot. So other than Philadelphia, where were the fans the toughest on you?
Here.
Really?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, look how close you are to them.
Yeah.
When you go there, catch a fly ball, and they're trying to throw beer and stuff on you. Beautiful.
Hamill draws the walk. And I think a lot of people, and I'm in this group, wonder how much can you actually hear? Is it just noise, or can you hear the actual words?
No, you can hear it all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But believe me, I had no family member left unscathed by those people.
So you mean if we were to yell at Alan Craig right now, he would hear it?
Yes. Yes. And if they say they don't, they're lying.
We're not going to do it.
No,
we're not going to do it.
We're respectful. We're respectful baseball fans.
Yeah. 1 on, 1 out. Back to the top of the order for Emilio Bonifacio. Tried to bunt his way aboard, but was thrown out 5-3 back in the first. Bonifacio got off to a great start this year. In his first 38 at bats, had 19 hits.
That's 500.
That's 500. You're bang on. Has cooled off to 327 since. And a guy who can play a lot of different positions, switch hitter, speed. Spent last year in the American League, but really seems like he belongs in the National League.
Yeah, he's more suited for the National League game with double switches and being able to show versatility, play the outfield, all the infield positions, and could possibly at the trade deadline become trade bait for a team that is looking for someone off their bench that can play multiple positions and swing the bat.
There are not expectations that the Cubs are going to be a factor this year. They're 11-17. They're coming off 3 very difficult seasons. Actually, the last 3 years, the Cubs have never lost as many games in their history over a 3-year period as they have the last 3 years. And they do have some building blocks. They have some young position players in the minors they're excited about. But it doesn't look like contending is imminent. And Cub fans, obviously, it goes without saying, have been waiting a long time as Bonifacio draws the walk. First and second, 1 out. I'll look at some of the names they hope are going to join the likes of Rizzo and Castro at the major league level. I know Chris Bryant is a guy, Buster especially, they're very excited about down at the minor league level.
No question, he's a big-time power hitter. Javier Baez had a tremendous spring training. The 2 outfielders there, too, Soler and Almora, are guys who rank among the top 30 prospects in all of baseball. But the big challenge for the Cubs going forward is, can they get pitching to match it? They don't really have high-end type pitching in their farm system. They did get C.J. Edwards in that Matt Garza trade with the Texas Rangers last year. So that's going to be the challenge for the Cubs going forward as these players mature and reach the big leagues.
As Tom Ricketts, the chairman, who stopped by, said hello to us moments ago between innings, and now spending some time talking to the fans here at Wrigley Field. In some ways, these are uneasy times because the team is not playing well. Some people think the payroll should be higher than it is. It's actually down from where it was a few years ago. There's an ongoing dispute between the team and the rooftop owners about whether the Cubs can build a big video scoreboard that would block the view of some of the rooftop owners from across the street. So the chairman of the team out trying to talk to the fans, generate a little goodwill, find out how people are feeling. And, as we've discussed, and again, it goes without saying, they want a winner here. It's been 106 years since they've been in this ballpark for 98 years. The ballpark's 100 years old. The Cubs have been here for 98 years. It's been 106 years since they won a World Series.
Yeah, there's the problem with building a giant scoreboard is now those people can't see. But yeah, I mean, it's, you buy a team, you become president of a team, a general manager. I mean, you got to read some fine print, I would imagine, and figure out what you can and can't do.
Ball sent foul down the right side.
Tough to find out after the ink is dried.
Now, the Cubs have made the playoffs fairly recently. Made the playoffs 6 and 7 years ago. Won the NL Central both years. We got swept out of the playoffs. And painfully, Cub fans remember 2003 when it looked like they were headed to the World Series. The Marlins taking them out. to 1945 to even the last time they were in the World Series in 1908, the last time they won it. I don't know about you. I think baseball is a little more interesting when the Cubs are good. I mean, they haven't been good that often lately, but boy, when they're good, you know, now that the Red Sox, the 86-year drought is long gone, this is the team that you really focus on, right?
Yeah, and it was. I mean, it just tells you how exciting last year it was for Pittsburgh and for baseball fans. Not so much Pirates fans, but you know, I'm sure Pirate fans were very happy, without question. But you know, for just your everyday baseball fan to see the Pirates get in, it'd be great to see the Cubs get into the postseason and go deep into it and get a chance to win a World Series. And it's good for us because we like coming here.
We love coming here. 2-2 to Valbuena. Just missed the outside corner. A full count. Molina framed it, but did not get the call from Angel Hernandez.
You can tell Lance Lynn's not happy about that pitch, and of course neither is her former catcher Mike Matheny. Very pleased with Angel right now, who we met on the streets today.
He was out for a run outside the hotel when we were getting in the car to come to the ballpark. Down and in, ball 4. 3 consecutive walks issued by Lynn. And as successful as Lance Lynn has been, one of the issues he's had trouble with at times, Crucky, is the big inning. He can sail along, but when he gets into some trouble, sometimes he can't quite get out of it.
Yeah, and that's a big issue, and you know, it's one of those things where it just becomes now a mental thing because he has the stuff to get out of an inning when he puts himself in a jam. You know, but can he make the pitches to get out of this jam? And the problem is he starts by walking the pitcher in Jason Hamill, and then he walks the first hitter, the second hitter. You know, now you're looking at here comes the power now, and now you're asking for trouble. And this is where the Cubs have to start making some ground right here in this game.
And first pitch swinging, Anthony Rizzo comes up empty.
Well, you knew after walking 3 guys, Lance Lynn didn't want to get behind the count. He threw him a fastball. Thought we might have some, maybe a visitor up here in our booth with a baseball.
Now, do you think they'll try to stay away from him to try to keep him from pulling the ball?
Well, I think the book on Anthony Rizzo is you know, he has struggled in his short major league career with good fastballs. And if you're going to throw him a good fastball, that was a 2-seamer. He tried to get him to roll over to get a double play. You know, if you're going to try to get him out with a fastball, you got to come in with it.
But if you're Rizzo now, are you thinking in, or are you thinking drive it the other way because he's staying away?
I'm guessing in.
And they're coming in. And he swings through it 1-2. So we've seen 2-seamers at 92. That's a 4-seamer at 95.
Yeah, now you can go either way. You can go with the cutter now that looks like it's going to be a fastball over the center of the plate and cuts. But, I mean, you know, that's a pitch right there. Yadier Molina wanted that in, and Lance Lynn left it out over the plate. And very, very lucky that this is not a 4-3 game.
Big moment in this game here in the bottom of the 3rd. And again, Lynn's not going to throw a lot of breaking balls or changeups. It's a lot of different kinds of fastballs, but a lot of fastballs.
Yeah, 4-seamer, 2-seamer, and a cutter, and all of them, you know, he throws in the 90 to 92, 93 range. And that's the one right there. He wanted to hope that play on the aggressiveness of a young hitter and try to get Rizzo to roll over a ground ball on a sinker away, trying to pull it and try to get a double play.
Emergency hack right there, and he got a piece of Molina. Left arm.
Looked like he got him in the wrist. It hits that outside of the glove and just bends the glove back, and along with bending the glove back, it bends the hand back.
You can see him flexing the fingers.
Yeah, they haven't made anything in gloves to protect that part of it yet for a catcher. I mean, you see he's got a brace on his wrist that's strapped onto his batting, or to his catcher's glove actually, that protects his wrist from foul tips.
Cubs down 3-0, but the bases are loaded on walks, and their number 3 hitter Anthony Rizzo's at the plate. shallow left center. And in comes Grichuk to make the catch. Too shallow to tag. 2 down.
Well, Lance Lynn struggled with walking 3 guys in a row, but he made some really good pitches to Anthony Rizzo. The first pitch fastball, that's the one he got away with right there. And another one he got away with. Now, this is a situation where now you're just trying to battle with 2 strikes. You're just trying to put something in play and hopefully get it deep enough to score a run. But a shallow fly ball to center field with the pitcher on third base, no chance of tagging. And now you've left it up to Starlin Castro with 2 outs to try to be the guy that drives in some runs.
Rizzo retired. Castro hit a fly ball to center to end the first. 3 walks, loading the bases. And the Cubs looking for a big hit to get back in the game. Fly ball to right field. But room for Craig, and Lynn gets out of it. After walking the bases loaded, he retires the Cubs' 2 best hitters to strand them. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, brought to you by Taco Bell, conveniently located near Wrigley Field at the corner of Addison and Clark. Just outside the ballpark.
I was just down there. Doing baseball tonight on the set.
That's
not
right.
Far from there.
We are surrounded by, let me see if I can get this right, by Addison on the south, Clark on the west, Waveland on the north, and Sheffield on the east. Does that sound right? I'm asking the wrong guy? First pitch swinging. Johnny Peralta skies one to center field for Bonifacio. 1 down, which will bring up Randall Grichuk.
Well, Mike Matheny, we talked about it, mentioned the pop that's in his back. And just that sound alone tells you that there's some thunder in there. But look at the swing. Look at the hips. Look at the back leg coming off the back leg, getting on that stiff front side, letting the ball travel deep, the right elbow buried in his ribs. And just after the contact, the extension through the zone, that's why that ball was zipped through that right center field gap for that triple. Zipped, Danny boy.
First major league RBI for Grichuk. We mentioned a little bit earlier another young outfielder, Oscar Taveras, considered one of the best hitting prospects in all of baseball, is healthy again. He was hurt a lot of last year. And Buster's off to a good start this season, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of speculation in St. Louis that perhaps he would be called up from AAA. But when we asked Mike Matheny before the game about it, he pretty much shut down that conversation.
Here's a ground ball to short. 2 down. And Mike Matheny is the guy cracking. A lot of people are like this. If you're not here now, let's focus on the 25 guys who are here now. But at some point, probably this season, Oscar Taveras is going to be a St. Louis Cardinal.
Well, yeah, there's a chance there that he is. But, you know, if Mike Matheny tells us in this meeting on May 4th that, yeah, I can't wait for this guy to get here, well, you have 4 outfielders,
right.
5 outfielders on your roster thinking, wait a second,
yep.
He wants him here. Where does that leave me?
A quick 2 outs here in the 4th inning for Jason Hamill. That'll bring up Mark Ellis. One of the issues with Taveras is he's considered more of a corner outfielder than a center fielder. And of course they've got Alan Craig in right, Matt Holliday in left. So it depends how badly they want his bat, how badly they need his bat.
And in most ballparks there's only 2 corners, so
yes,
at least the ones I've played in. So to have 3 corners in an outfield probably won't work.
They could put him in center. They've got Grichuk in center now. But the Cardinals are not afraid to act with a little urgency and make moves.
They have a lot of things that things in their minor league system that a lot of teams don't have, and that's why other teams, they say, well, why aren't we making a move? Well, there's nothing to make a move with. There's some teams in minor league systems are bare. Cardinals seem to make the playoffs every year, but yet still have great minor league players.
Well, how about the pitchers they brought up in the last couple of years? I mean, Lynn's actually one of the older guys now.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Waka and Miller and Martinez and Rosenthal. Long run for Kalish, but it's out of play.
Kelly. Jason Mott, who's missed off last year with Tommy John surgery, and they still think maybe a couple weeks away. He's not an old man either.
Yep.
Segrist is a lefty that throws 98. That has been in their system.
Reiner left center. And Mark Ellis is 2 for 2. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, is brought to you by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado and Bayer Back and Body, the official pain reliever of MLB. With John Kruk, Buster Olney, and our outstanding ESPN Sunday Night crew, Dan Schulman with you here at Wrigley from our vantage point in the right field bleachers, watching the Cardinals take on the Cubs. 3-0 in the 4th. Lance Lynn with a ground ball to second, and that will end the inning. To the bottom of the 4th, the Cubs coming up down 3-0 as we bring you Sunday Night Baseball from the great city of Chicago. Madison and Clark. Just outside the ballpark.
I was just down there doing baseball tonight on the set.
That's right. For the Cubs, 3-0. Time now to get some FaceTime, brought to you by Edward Jones. Between innings, Buster Olney with Cardinal manager Mike Matheny.
Like you said before the game, you got a bunch of guys on edge because of the offense. So what was it like in the dugout after you got those series of hits?
Well, I think it's one of those situations where everybody's just ready to jump on anything positive, and you got a couple real good at-bats with two outs and able to drive in some big runs, something we haven't been able to do a lot of, so hopefully that just continues. There's a lot of positive vibes and excitement in here.
Now, we saw the last inning, Lance Lynn walk 3 consecutive guys. What's a mechanical adjustment for him when that happens?
A lot of times he's just got so much movement on the ball, so much sink that it's hard to keep it on top of the plate. Even his four-seamer's going to run. Just a matter of moving his sights a little bit and also getting on top of it a little more and not so much on the side of the ball.
Mike, thanks.
Bottom 4, Lance Lynn with a 3-run lead. The Cardinals looking to salvage the final game of this 3-game series after losing Friday afternoon 6-5 and yesterday afternoon 3-0. Nate Scherholtz leads off the 4th for the Cubs and takes a strike. It'll be Scherholtz, Kalish, and Baker. 5, 6, 7 in the Cub lineup. Scherholtz with a fly ball to left field his first time up. Former Giant takes low, a ball and a strike. And a ground ball right back to Lynn. Routine play for out number 1. A couple of innings ago, we showed you when John Baker was up, actually, the woman who got hit on the side of the head. And we're very happy to report and to show you that she is okay. She went up, got an ice pack, and is now back down at her seats. Thumbs up. Great to see.
That is really good to see. That ice pack might be keeping her warm.
Oh, you Floridians, man. Here's Ryan Kalish. Grounded out his first time up. And a chopper hit weakly to the right side. This could be trouble, and it is, as nobody can pick it cleanly. And Kalish is aboard. It'll be a base hit. So a tricky play, and Kalish runs reasonably well, and he gets an infield hit on this play. Just kind of found no man's land on the right side. And
yeah, you see Matt Adams over there drifting way too far when he didn't have a chance at that ball. That's when you have to know where your second baseman is and know what kind of range he has, because right now he just got in everyone's way. I mean, even if Ellis catches that ball and tries to flip it to his glove to Lance Lynn, Adams is standing right in front of him.
We spoke with Kalish before the game. This is a guy who used to play for the Red Sox, has had all kinds of injuries over the last 3 years. He's had 2 shoulder surgeries, 1 neck surgery, and then had another neck surgery last year, fusion surgery, where they had to take part of his hip bone and fuse it into one of the discs in his neck, in the front of his neck. And he has all kinds of metal plates and stuff in there, but he says for the first time in about 3-4 years he feels healthy. Baker grounded out his first time up. Got a pitch to hit, and he fouled it back.
Lance Lynn's giving him a lot of pitches to hit. The problem is the Cubs aren't hitting them. Rizzo had 3 or 4 pitches with the bases loaded, and he couldn't get on top of one.
You know, and say what you will, all Lance Lynn has done since they made him a starter back in the 2012 season is win games. He's not a guy who has, you know, had an ERA of 2.5 or anything like that. He's always seems to be up in the mid-3s, but he wins. He's got 4 this year. He's had as many as 18 in a season. And only his teammate Adam Wainwright has won more games in the National League since the beginning of 2012. You could win a pretty good bar bet on that one.
You can win a Probably a huge bar bet on that one. We should go try to find out, man.
So what is it about him as he walks another batter? Is it he doesn't like the strike zone from Angel Hernandez at all? Is it pitching deep into games, run support problem? You know, we all know wins can be a bit of a misleading statistic, but there's no disputing that he's a good pitcher.
No, there's no disputing that. And, you know, the thing you like about Lance Lynn is he's majority of his pitches are fastballs, and besides tonight, he really shouldn't walk a lot of guys. I mean, he's walked a ton of them here tonight, but yeah, he should be a guy that's around the play. Like Mike Matheny said, talking to Buster, you know, between innings, is, you know, he has so much movement on his pitches that sometimes he gets a little bit erratic out of the zone, but he's not missing by a lot.
And here's a guy who needs a hit. Darwin Barney comes up with 2 on and 1 out. Remember, the Cubs loaded the bases with 1 out in the 3rd, but couldn't get a hit from either Rizzo or Castro, so they left them loaded. They've got another pretty good opportunity here in the 4th, trailing 3-0. Foul ball, pitch up in the zone, and that was a rare off-speed pitch. That was a hanging slider right there from Lance Lynn.
He is. We can build a whole highlight on Lance Lynn getting away with pitches, and you know, when a guy's hitting where Darwin Barney is, 8th in the lineup, hitting 133, you get away with those. You throw that pitch to Starlin Castro or Rizzo, who are swinging the bats pretty well, that could be trouble. So maybe that's how he does it. He just makes bad pitches to bad guys who are struggling.
And there have been times where in the postseason he's actually come out of the rotation. They've got so many options that they can take a guy who's won as many games as he has out of the rotation. Remember last year Shelby Miller won 15 games and only threw 1 inning in the playoffs. That's how deep they are. A guy like Waka comes up and immediately moves into the pretty much immediately moves into the 2 spot in the rotation, right behind Adam Wainwright, with the incredible stuff that Waka did late last season. You know, Joe Kelly's on the DL right now with a hamstring problem. He's a terrific pitcher, but he might not even get back in the rotation when he comes back. If Jaime Garcia gets healthy at the same time, Garcia's always been a starter. Kelly's proven versatile in multiple roles.
Well, that's the thing with them, is that they have, you know, 2 or 3 guys in their rotation right now. They're versatile enough to pitch out of the bullpen if they need it.
Only play to first, and they'll get the out there 2 down as the runners advance.
You know, Johnny Peralta is getting a little older for a shortstop, but you know, he's not going to make the flashy plays, not going to make the play deep in the hole, not a ton of range, but there's the veteran right there, knowing the only play he had was to try to barehand that ball. Watch how it hits his hand and kind of rolls up his arm a little bit. Throws a changeup. He had full grip changeup to Matt Adams. Luckily, Matt Adams didn't get out on his front foot. Get out in front of that one, Dan. Last thing you want to do is roll over one with your glove.
Yep. So 2 down, 2 in scoring position for Jason Hamill. And the pitcher sprays one foul into the upper deck. Cubs have left 4 men on through 3 innings. They've got 2 men on with 2 outs here in the 4th.
How them heaters working for you down here? Oh,
about the same as it's working for you. You got one?
No.
Oh. I mean, I understand the pecking order in this crew.
Yeah,
but.
I do too. You got a heater, blanket, and everything.
Mm-hmm. It's not so bad. It's not so bad.
It's nice. It's actually tropical. I mean, anytime I can spend time with you, Dan, it's tropical.
And a base hit. And 1 run is home. And here comes the 2nd run to score, as Hamill slashes one into the outfield to make it a 1-run game.
Well, the thing you like you want out of your pitchers in the National League is, can you make contact, put the ball in play? Because if you do, something can happen. But, Buck Showalter told me Jason Hamill's a pretty good athlete, but that's a pretty good swing right there, Dan. I mean, he stayed right on that pitch and drove it the other way. Alan Craig got kind of caught in between of charging or staying back on the ball because it got on him quicker than what he thought. And once he bobbled it, there was no play at home. But when you watch the relay or the throw to home, you see who the guy who was cut that ball off on the way to home plate was Lance Lynn. And I'm sure Mike Matheny's not happy about that.
No error on Craig on the play. It's gone as a 2-run single for Hamill, and it's 3-2. The batter is Bonifacio.
I'm not sure with 2 outs that Alan Craig would have thrown a runner out anyway.
It's a big week for the Cubs. The Cardinals this weekend, and then 4 games with the White Sox coming up this week. It's the Wednesday night game this week on ESPN. The Cubs and White Sox from U.S. Cellular Field. And Rick Renteria is in his first year as the manager of the Cubs, but he doesn't have to be told what it means to play the Cardinals and what it means to play the White Sox.
No, I'm sure that was mentioned to him when they signed him on as the manager this offseason.
And Bonifacio strikes out to end the inning. But Jason Hamill, of all people, drives in a couple with a base hit, and at the end of 4 at Wrigley, it's a 1-run game. That's June Palm, 94 years young, and an usher here at Wrigley Field since 1989. The home of the Cubs. Cubs with 2 in the bottom of the 4th to make it a 1-run game as they celebrate 100 years of this ballpark all this season. That's why the Cubs and Cardinals are both wearing some retro uniforms tonight, back to 1929, the first year in this ballpark in which the Cubs went to the World Series.
I like those Cardinals ones with the white socks with the red stripes.
Yeah. I like both of them. 2 good looking sets of uniforms. This is the year
for
optimism is everywhere, Crockett.
Well, it is early May.
Top of the order. Carpenter, Molina, Holiday. And Hamill quickly jumps out in front 0-2. Carpenter has singled and struck out.
See, but I'm not sure back in, remember these uniforms, 1929, that they had high tops, and Jason Hamill has the half blue, half red spikes. I'm pretty sure those weren't.
What happens to you? Must have worn some retro unis back. Do you keep them? Are they in your closet? Do you auction them off for charity? What happens to them after this game? You don't know?
Well, you'd have to ask someone that kept stuff. Yeah. I don't have anything.
You weren't sentimental for that kind of stuff?
No, and sometimes I look back and I regret it. But
swing and a miss by Carpenter.
I'm not sure that was a swing.
Out number 1, and here comes Yadier Molina. Hit a couple of fly balls to right field tonight. Came into the game hitting .343, 5th best in the National League. And as we take a look at his hot zone, red is where he hits .350 or better. This is against righties since the beginning of last year. It's a curveball that just slipped out of the hand of Hamill, and Molina knows it, so nobody's upset. And you don't see many guys with a hot zone like that with red squares in so many different areas. He can hit the ball just about wherever it's pitched.
Yeah, and the red squares are where you would typically want to pitch a right-handed hitter, up and in, low and in, up and away. And he hits him. See, that pitch was in the red zone. He should have swung. If he'd only known.
Blue zone's 250 or lower, and nothing means between 250 and 350. So this is a hard guy to try to pinpoint where his holes are.
And the thing that's difficult to defend against him is he's liable to take that pitch up and in and hit it the other way, or take the pitch down and away and pull it. He's so tough to defend because of he can hit any pitch. That's the one thing he can't do, and that's run very well.
Yep. Good stretch by Rizzo, and Castro throws him out for out number 2 to bring up Matt Holliday, who has flied out and walked and scored. Holliday productive so far this year. He's got 17 runs driven in, but he's only hit 2 homers. The Cardinals have hit 20 as a team. That is 13th out of 15 National League teams. Even last year, when they led the league in runs, they didn't hit a ton of homers. They're not really a team that depends on the home run for runs. They depend on stringing singles and doubles together and just keeping the rallies going.
And I'll tell you, you won't hear anyone in the Cardinals organization say it. That's good night, sweetheart.
2-0 slider swung on and missed.
I think there's some people talking about how much they miss Carlos Beltran, because you put a switch hitter who hit second a lot last year in that lineup. It makes for a whole different lineup, it stretches out your lineup so much with him in there.
Mike Matheny's unhappy again. Alan Craig shaking his head. Matt Holliday didn't like that call.
And Angel could care less what they think. It's interesting talking to him about the replay.
He's a big fan of it.
A huge fan of it. And I just assumed that some of the umpires wouldn't like it, that you're questioning their call, but he said he loves it because he said, if I miss one, they're going to get it right. I'm sure the Cleveland fans can.
Strike 3 caught outside corner, and the Cardinals will only go more frustrated with the strike zone after that. Welcome back to the north side of Chicago. Sunday night baseball at Wrigley Field. You saw some shots of Wrigleyville, the surrounding area. For those who don't know, this ballpark is right in the middle of a residential neighborhood. But when you just go a little bit south from here and east from here, all kinds of establishments, some of whom I would imagine took a few dollars out of your pocket back in the day.
Couple.
Some who knew you by name,
meal
first
money,
name.
Yeah, meal money was well spent then.
It is as we've mentioned, it's not only unique inside the ballpark, just the surrounding area is as unique for a baseball environment as there is in all of baseball. 2 balls and a strike. It's Luis Valbuena.
It's an event here.
Yes, it is.
It's from the start of the day till the game's over.
No night games till 1988. And still Friday games are day games. Friday home games are day games here. Still have restrictions about how many night games they're allowed to play.
We'll let you build rooftop seating on our building, but you need to turn out the lights at a certain point.
Valbuena grounds out. It is not only the Chicago Cubs who have called Wrigley Field home at times. Jimmy Buffett held the first 2 concerts ever held here at Wrigley Field back in 2005. There was an NHL Winter Classic here as the Blackhawks took on the Detroit Red Wings here at Wrigley in 2009. Chicago Sting of the North American Soccer League, and our personal favorite, a ski jump competition where you come down the ramp from up above home plate and soar up into the air and evidently land somewhere around second base. And most recently there was a Northwestern women's lacrosse match here. You can still see some of the lines on the field. I would love to have called that ski jump competition. That'd be great.
I'd love to have been your color analyst for that thing too. What do people think when they're 100 feet in the air on skis? Like, where's the thought process? Yeah, I'm going to try this.
Yeah. Even with natural grass, that's a hard thing.
But it's just not smart.
Rizzo, the batter, he was up with the bases loaded, 1 out in the 3rd, hit a fly ball to center, too shallow for Hamill to tag and try to score. Rizzo also had a base hit his first time up. Sitting over 400 at home this year. As Lynn gets a fastball by him, and it's 2-2. One thing we've talked about a lot, teams are doing it more and more, shifting. And Rizzo, like so many left-handed batters with power, seeing that on the infield. More and more righties are seeing it this year as well. Breaking ball for strike 3 called. Lynn's pumped up.
But Lance Lynn was throwing fastball to Anthony Rizzo, and then he drops that breaking ball. You see that right hip just open up, and Lance Lynn very excited about that one because he feels like he finally got a call in the outer half of the plate, and I'm not sure that was on the plate. Good pitcher's pitch.
Now strike to Starlin Castro, 0 for 2.
Starting to feature that curveball here in the 5th inning.
Of course, Adam Wainwright is the headliner of the Cardinal rotation, and he brought a 25-inning scoreless streak into the game here Friday, but the Cubs roughed him up. 6 runs in 5 innings. And then Michael Wacha was good, but a 3-0 win for the Cubs yesterday. Wainwright still off to a terrific start this year. What a good 94-mile-an-hour fastball up above the belt, and Castro couldn't catch up.
Seems like Adam Lynn has a little bit of anger going into this inning. He's worried. There's Wainwright. I think he'll bounce back, Dan. I don't think they should send him down just yet.
Look at the movement on that pitch. Wow. Inning over as he strikes out Rizzo and Castro back-to-back to end it. When we come back, it'll be Carl and Barry with Barry's Web Gems of the Day.
Cardinals coming to bat. Barry Larkin, Carl Ravitch here. Time for Barry's Web Gems.
Dylan G has been very, very stingy on the mound. Only 27 innings, 2 earned runs. Stingy there. Adeiny Echeverria, DCK. Nice hit, but it's not going to pass here. This guy has made some nice Web Gems on the season. You see his 5th. And my number 1 for the day, Nolan Arenado. This guy can do about just anything out there on the field. Cutoff man, normally not really involved in the play, but the tip throw to third base, nice play, Nolan Arenado.
All right, and underway inside Wrigley. We send it back to you guys, Dan.
All right, thank you, fellas. Boy, Nolan Arenado making Web Gems, it seems, on almost a nightly basis. He has done so many good things for Colorado this year. Also can swing the bat a little bit.
Did he keep his hitting streak intact? He had a 24?
It was 23 or 24, I think so.
We have a researcher right there beside us. I wonder if he can dial that one up.
He's very busy.
Yeah.
That's him over there.
He's
That's
a
Peter Pasquarelli right there.
Beautiful
America.
man. Woo. Couldn't do this without him.
Anything good we say, he gets the credit for. Anything bad, he takes no responsibility for. It's a base hit for Matt Adams to get the top of the 6th. There you are. Peter, say hello. Look over there. Look right over there. There he is. He's our little ray of sunshine, America.
One of Philly's finest.
Yes, he is.
One of Philly's finest.
He's a beauty. Leadoff base hit for Adams in the 6th inning. The Rockies lost today. They've been scoring a ton of runs, where they were beaten by the Mets today 5-1. And Arenado got a hit today. 1 for 4.
And that's what, 24, 25?
I don't have access to that information on my phone, so I'm waiting for Peter to give us that information.
Unbelievable.
Here's Alan Craig 0 for 2. This guy's helping us. That'll be 24. We think that's 24. That's 24 today for Nolan.
That guy we just showed on his phone's an old researcher from years back. See, there he is.
Yep.
Now he's got a signal. Right? Apparently his hands are cold. He didn't want to signal 24 to us, so we'll go with what Buster says.
Inside corner for a strike, and Craig not happy. The count is 1-2.
It seems like that last half inning and now starting this inning, it looks like the strike zone has widened out a little bit. A little more lenient toward the pitcher.
Short lead at first by Adams. A good 2-strike hack there by Craig just to foul off a pitch he knew he really couldn't do anything with.
My throat's starting to get a little itchy. You might have to sing by yourself.
It's not the way it's going to work, my man.
Don't leave me out there hanging by myself now.
You are the singer.
No, I'm not.
No, yeah, you are. We know that. Well, there's been some research done. There's been some tweets. Kirkchin and Only have talked about it. It's out there. You have the musical talent.
You believe them?
Of course I
Over
believe
me.
That. Yeah.
Wow.
In a heartbeat.
Thought we were tighter than that. You probably believe everything Vital tells you. When do I get that love?
Two. 1 and 2. Major League Baseball, People Magazine, and Target are looking for outstanding teachers in your community. 30 teachers will be recognized at the 2014 All-Star Game, July 15th. Log on to allstarteachers.com to nominate your favorite teacher today. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. Playing football, that's Waveland, I guess, right? That's left field. That's left field. Thank you. That's Waveland. So playing a little football, letting buses go by, and maybe waiting for a home run ball. They hope off the bat of a Cub. On the warmer days in the summer, you'll see dozens and dozens of people out there with gloves just hoping to catch a home run ball.
Not sure that's what I'd be doing tonight if I was living here. Although I do have a glove.
You do have a glove.
Tell you what, the glove's starting to get cold, and so's the hand, Dan. You're on your own.
Johnny Peralta, a walk and a fly ball. And a base hit. Crucky, more food.
Oh, boy.
More food.
You know, every year I get to lose weight, be healthy, eat healthy, hot dogs, pizza. It's all probably fat-free. I'm
sure the Giordano
should. You want me to stand
delicious.
up? You want me to
I'm just trying to stay warm, so I'm just now. This is helping a little bit. You'll start the program next week.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
no chance. It's really not a good city for me to start a diet, Dan, to be honest with you.
That's true.
They all have their own unique flavors.
Here's Grichuk. RBI triple in the second, grounded out in the fourth. On the positive side, though, the pizza is warm.
It is.
So
warm.
if you don't want to eat it, just use it as a hand warmer.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Oh, I'll eat it, but just not now. Maybe I'll eat it during the 7th inning stretch while you're singing. Is Buster singing too?
There's some debate about that.
Simple yes or no.
I don't think he's going to join us. breaking ball. And it's 1-2 on Grichuk. Activity now in both bullpens. There's the Cub pen down the left field line. Right-hander Carlos Villanueva, who was starting earlier in the season. There's a guy you were talking about before. Hard-throwing left-hander Kevin Segras for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that always elicits a big cheer when they fire one over the catcher's head or bounce one past him and run on the field of play.
Now, you would talk about you being close to the fans if you were playing left field or right field here. How about the relievers for the visiting team sitting up against the brick wall within about 3 feet of the fans?
Yeah, and you see them. Only one of them has a hat on because they can disappear.
Could be playable, and it is for Rizzo. To the bottom of the 6th here at Wrigley. Here come the Cubs. Welcome back to Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Are we on?
We are on. Yes, we are, John. Bottom of the 6th inning. Dan Shulman, John Kruk, Buster Olney, Wrigley Field. And the Cardinals up 3-2. Lance Lynn back of the mound. Nate Scherholtz leads it off for the Cubs. And a ground ball to second. One down.
Well, Lance Lynn hasn't exactly been pinpoint. He's gotten away with a lot of pitches in this game. There's one to Starlin Castro. Anthony Rizzo got 3 or 4 pitches to hit. This is all with the bases loaded. And Darwin Barney had runners on first and second. He gets a hanging slider. Couldn't do anything with it. And then the mistake he makes to Jason Hamill finally made him pay. I know. Jason Hamill, the pitcher, made him pay on another mistake for a 2-run single.
And a check swing foul off by Ryan Kalish as Carlos Martinez starts throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Pittsburgh, a guy who to be starting on just about any other team in baseball, lost out on the 5th starter's job to Joe Kelly in the spring. Knocked down, picked up, and Carpenter gets him. And we're going to have at least, perhaps, another conversation as they decide whether or not to challenge.
Well, that's the beauty of this challenge. You see Ryan Kalish isn't even moving. He's like, well, I'm not running in the dugout when I got to run back out here because I think I'm safe. Eric Hinsky called him safe, the first base coach. Everyone had him safe, except the umpire.
Safe.
Safe.
And all the folks out here in the right field bleachers are right near us. They can see our monitors. And they are confirming that, in their opinion, he was safe.
They don't need to call New York. Just talk to these guys.
Just talk to these guys out here. That's our first bleacher replay review that we've had in baseball this year.
Let's go to the right field bleachers, Dan.
See that guy right there? The guy taking our picture right there. He was all over it.
They're wasting their time there. We already know the answer.
Clearly safe. Appears clear and convincing. That's pretty clear and convincing, wouldn't you say?
I would think they should have figured this one out by now. I mean, that's very convincing evidence that, yes, he is safe. I don't know why they took the headsets off for a second, had a discussion between the two umpires. Now they put them back on.
Safe. So the challenge pays off. It's an error on Carpenter, allowing Kalish to reach with a 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. 6th error of the season already committed by Matt Carpenter, who is a natural third baseman. Remember, played second base all of last year for St. Louis.
Yeah, that ball gets on you a little quicker at third than it does at second. But he'll be fine.
So the tying run is aboard with 1 out in the 6th for John Baker. Nearing 100 pitches. And a little outside. It's 2 balls, no strikes.
You saw the reaction from Lance Lynn. He thought that was a strike. There's been a couple beefs with Angel Hernandez, but overall he's done a good job. Lance Lynn doesn't do it often, but this might be an opportunity to go fastball up in the strike zone to see if he can get Baker to chase one up.
Hit and run was on. Cardinals got their 3 runs, 2 of them in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. The RBIs for Randall Grichuk, Mark Ellis, Matt Adams, all on extra base hits. The Cubs' 2 runs came in the 4th on a 2-run single by the pitcher, Jason Hamill. There's strike 3 right there, and Baker knew it.
2-2 pitch. He starts it on the inner half of the plate and breaks it back over the center and just froze John Baker.
So now Darwin Barney 0 for 2, and his average has dropped to 128. Barney 3 years ago hit 276, 2 years ago hit 254, last year hit 208, and is at 128, albeit just a month into the season, a month and a bit right now. But and a pop-up. Inning over as the Cubs leave another man on. 3-2 Cardinals at the end of 6. 3 outs away from a part of the game that Harry Carey made famous.
Take me out to the ball game at Wrigley 3 times. And so as veterans, we have very significant pieces of advice. Mine is don't mess up the words.
And mine is more for Crucky. Listen, you and I are somewhat alike. We like our food. Make sure you don't eat right before you're singing and have a mouthful of food. That's not going to help.
I think that's good advice.
Well, anyone who's ever sang anything would know not to sing with food in his mouth. Apparently took Golick 3 times to figure that out.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready? This could be your discovery. This could be, America's Got Talent. This could be the beginning of a whole new thing for you.
I'm 53 years old. I haven't been discovered yet. little old to be starting that career.
New pitcher for the Cubs. Carlos Villanueva to face Mark Ellis. Cardinals up 3-2, top 7.
I always hope this is a long inning and people forget, huh?
That seems unlikely.
Okay.
Based on the activity on my phone right now, and I'm sure yours as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's really a short song.
Yeah. And they gave us a cheat sheet.
And they don't tell people. God. I mean, never to tell you anything I don't want to get out. The official lyrics we have. Yes, we have the official lyrics. And
yes. Where are we looking? Where am I looking? High third? Where are you? There we go. Yeah. Zoom in-ish. Does that help?
Well, now if we could just read, we have it all down.
Yeah. Now, give up the story. You have musical connections. You have like this is a thing for you. I'm not making this up.
I've had more than one person contact me about this, and
you sing.
I
sing.
Dabble.
You sing.
I dabble.
You sing.
I dabble. I mean, anyone can sing.
You sing well.
It's just.
Have you sung in front of people?
I have.
Have you recorded something?
I have.
So you sing.
Well, a couple of buddies of mine, we wrote a song for Baseball Tonight that we recorded. It was good, fun.
Yeah,
we had fun
right.
In a hotel room in Clearwater, Florida.
Diving catch in center field by Bonifacio. That's a Barry Larkin web gem if it happens earlier.
Hope Barry's still here. They're probably gone by now, but yeah, that's a great play. And I was watching the second base umpire who came out, and Bonifacio laid there on the ground for a while and still had the ball in his glove, and he wouldn't call it out until he took the ball out of his glove. This whole transfer thing, it's been confusing to me, but.
John Jay is pinch hitting. Jay batting in the pitcher's spot. Well, we're going to have a little help, Crucky.
We need it.
We have a young man here. This is Grant. He's from Norwalk, Iowa. Grant, look way out there. See that red light way down there by the third base dugout? This is Grant from Norwalk, Iowa, big Cubs fan, and he's going to do, the traditional what you say at the end of the seventh inning stretch.
Yeah.
Let's get some runs. Grant is going to take charge of that for us here tonight.
Can you handle that?
Yeah. Can I wear your hat? It's really cold, and I'm bald. Can you give up the hat in exchange for going on national TV tonight? Yeah, that's a good deal. All right. Seems fair, don't you think?
Kind of wish Grant had two heads. Use one myself. What was that?
Staying fair. Crucky in the box score. That's a base hit.
I've never seen that before. You ever seen anything like that before, Grant? Yeah, me either. How did he do that?
Accidentally.
Watch his hat, though.
Straight down. And it's fair.
Yeah. That ball hit 12 inches behind home plate. Seem to be want to prolong the singing, don't they, Dan? Look at that thing. Just hits on that grass and just like a beautiful 60-degree wedge.
Left-hander Wesley Wright is up in the Cub pen, but Villanueva is going to stay to face The left-hand hitting Matt Carpenter.
Two right-handed hitters coming up after Carpenter, and I'm sure that's why Villanueva's staying in this game.
Carpenter a base hit and a couple of strikeouts. Misses down and away. So Hamill 6 innings, 3 runs earned on 7 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And the Cardinals try to extend the lead here in the top of the 7th. Wind continues to blow in from right field as it has all night here at Wrigley.
Might be a situation right here, even though it's 2-0 and you want to turn the hitter loose, you know, let him pick his pitch. You might want to send John Jay here and let Carpenter try to open up the field a little bit for him.
Knocked down, throw to first, got him. Well, if you're not hitting, you can feel good about things when you make a defensive play like that. And now Mike Matheny is going to think about a replay.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Carpenter, once again, like Ryan Kalish did, he just went to first base, and we're going to check this one out. And that was one of those Mike Matheny didn't even look for his in his dugout to say yay or nay. I mean, he comes up with a clean right there. He has a great chance of not even making it a close play with Carpenter running, but
he's out. He's out by half step.
You could see Carpenter's reaction suggested that he thought he was safe. I think we're going to need another look. Wow, that's pretty close.
I think they're going to overturn this one. I think he's safe. See that ball still out of Rizzo's glove, and Carpenter's foot on the base. Yeah,
I think you're right. That's about as close as it gets.
Close.
Yeah.
I think Carpenter beat him. Now we're going to have more fun. The fans out here keep asking me what's the call and what we saw in the replay. I say he's safe, and they're booing me. I didn't make the call.
Grant, what do you think? He was safe? Grant says safe.
And he's a Cubs fan.
That's a Cub fan saying safe.
Fan.
I think that's clear and conclusive evidence. Grant says he's safe.
You want to be an
safe?
Safe.
Yeah, good call, Grant.
Grant, you want to be an umpire someday? Player?
So first and second with a 1 out for Yadier Molina. Both managers with a successful review here tonight, and a great effort by Barney for not.
Yeah, and even though Carpenter was safe at first base, what it did was it kept John Jay from going to third base by knocking that ball down. And now you get a double play. You can get out of this inning without letting a run score, or a fly ball can't even score a run. It's going to take a hit now.
One and two. The double play to end the inning. Grant, get ready, bud. 7th inning stretch.
Game from the Bunt Patio and the right field bleachers, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball broadcasters Dan Shulman and John Krug.
With Grant from Norwalk, Iowa, big Cubs fan. Cubs fans, let me hear ya. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Let's get some runs.
Back at Wrigley.
Let me tell you something. We are singers by no means, but we blew Greeny and Golick out of the water with that rendition.
Yeah. I'm so glad you were here with me, man.
I'm glad everyone else was singing too, because I couldn't hear myself. I'm like, thank goodness.
Yeah. And how about Grant?
Grant was the best.
Poor Grant. Kid just comes to a game, 11-year-old kid. Comes to a game with his dad, and we grab him and force him down here.
And he's going back to his seat, say, Dad, don't ever bring me to a game again. If this is what it's like, I'm staying at home watching on TV.
Wow.
That was fun.
That was fun and scary all at the same time. Yeah.
Well, kind of like life.
Carlos Martinez into the game now for St. Louis. Because this is the way the world works. We get to go to Buster for instant reviews on Twitter. As Chris Coughlin pinch hits for the Cubs. And a ground ball to short. I'm afraid to do this, Buster, but what do you got?
Twitter is speaking. America is speaking through Twitter. And what we're hearing is from Wes Swain, for example, saying Shulman carried Kruk on the song.
Hey now.
Okay? Dan Shulman getting high reviews on the song. Crucky, I think you were drowned out based on what I'm reading on Twitter.
Well, he has that deep voice. What do you want me to do? I can't sing like that.
You carried me, man.
Yeah,
you carried
right. Dan, it's one of those things. You're glad it's over.
There's Bonifacio. We didn't mess up the words.
No.
We didn't mess up the words. that was our only goal for the night, right?
That was
we
the
didn't
goal.
want to mess up the words. The Cub fans were great when we held the mic out for the Cubs part, right? So they did their part.
And Grant
crushed
it.
Home. Grant crushed it at the end. Yep. Did a great job.
All home.
2 down. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, is brought to you by Chevrolet. Celebrate the new season with Chevrolet. Share your excitement using #TheNew. And Lowe's. Lowe's never stop improving. Bottom 7, 3-2. The Cardinals leading the Cubs. And the batter is Valbuena.
A little text message from Aaron Boone. Nice effort. I'm sure that was meant tongue in cheek.
Yeah, I got the same. That was a group text. I got the same one.
Oh, I thought I was special.
Base hit into the right field corner for Valbuena. On his way to second. On his way around second. And into third without a throw.
Well, Valbuena, you know, there's not a fastball he doesn't like, and you know Martinez has a great one, and this is something that Valbuena can do. There you see the fastball, 95 middle in, not a bad pitch at all, but Valbuena gets to that quick, and then it's turn the Jets on and watch it go. But first, Dad, you got to take your helmet off. You're going to try for third. Get that helmet off. Get that wind resistance going right here, and he slides in safely without a throw. And the, I don't know what that was, little sign at the end, but maybe that he gave it that 2-eye thing. Maybe he said that maybe that's with 2 outs. We need a hit.
Mike Matheny to the mound. They've got Anthony Rizzo coming up. The Cubs do. And the left-hander Kevin Segrist is throwing for the Cardinals. We mentioned earlier Rizzo really struggled with lefties last year. He's done a much better job against lefties this year. He's 13 for 33. Against left-handed pitching right now. Mike Matheny opts to leave Carlos Martinez. So the Cubs, who have had their chances often in this game, have another good one here, albeit with 2 outs, but Rizzo at the plate.
Some of those chances were with Anthony Rizzo and Starlin Castro at the bat with the bases loaded. Let's see if Rizzo can get a big 2-out hit right here. This is a tough thing too for a young player, Dan. You don't know if Martinez is going to pitch around you or pitch to you. So you have to be selectively aggressive. You have to wait for a good pitch and hope he makes a mistake with it, because you know, right now he threw a fastball in and then he throws another fastball down and away. And Rizzo's still probably thinking, all right, now what? And this is the greatest thing that can happen to Anthony Rizzo right here. You give him the 4. But now it takes all that doubt out of your mind.
So an intentional walk to put the go-ahead run on base with 2 outs here in the 7th and bring up Starlin Castro. Hey, if you see Grant, I never got that hat. We got to get Grant back here. Here's Castro. Off to a very good start this year. Rick Renteria says feeling confident, having fun, facing a hard-throwing reliever in Martinez, who catches the inside corner at 95 for a strike.
If Martinez can throw 2 more right there, Starlin Castro doesn't have a chance. That's up around the elbow. It looked like it was inside.
And a breaking ball gets through Molina, and the game is tied. Wild pitch charged to Carlos Martinez.
Well, Carlos Martinez gets the wild pitch, but I'm sure Yadier Molina is going to say to himself, this is one I should block very easily. That's really not a tough block. He just didn't get his glove down low. Now, easy for me to say it's not a tough block. I've never caught in my life, but you know, you wonder if he'd have dropped down with both legs instead of having the one still out. If that would have narrowed the gap on that 5-hole. Watch how he gets his other leg out.
Platinum glove winner, for those who don't know, is you take all the gold glove winners in each league, and there's one platinum winner in each league. It's the overall best defender at any position. And everybody who follows baseball to any
degree at all. Knows how good a defensive catcher Molina is. Again, that's a wild pitch charged to Martinez. Nasty stuff to end the inning, but the lead is gone. 7 in the books at Wrigley, all tied up at 3. Wrigley Field in Chicago, celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. This is Sunday Night Baseball. Dan Shulman, John Kruk, Buster Olney tied at 3 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. And 3-4-5 for the Cardinals. This is Matt Holliday. He takes a breaking ball in for a strike. New pitcher's Justin Grimm. Grimm came from Texas in the Matt Garza deal, former starter. Gave up a home run to Johnny Peralta on Friday in the first game of this series. Oh, there's Grant. And Grant's phone's blowing up, too.
I got him.
Dad, Mom, I am famous. That's right. Grant said, let's get some runs, and they got a run. So good job by Grant.
What you're trying to say is my job's in jeopardy?
But we could just, have him in for like an inning a game. He's a natural. Poor kid. He probably frightened him. We didn't give him much choice. We told him to come down here and do it. So
kind of scarred him.
Yeah.
But he has a long life ahead of him to get over what we did to him.
3-2. Ooh, and Holliday, halfway through that swing, you could see that he knew it wasn't a strike, but he couldn't hold up. 1 down. Make Sunday extra special by going out to the ballpark. Go to MLB.com/Sunday to find special ticket offers. And follow every Major League Baseball game with MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10, or Windows Phone 8. Get scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit MLB.com for details. Ball one to Matt Adams. Crucky. They love you in the rooftops.
Tiger fans apparently won't be there, right? June 8th?
We're going on June 8th, just announced. Yes, the Red Sox and the Tigers as Adams bounces out. We got St. Louis and Pittsburgh next week. And we will see the Tigers in Boston 2 weeks from tonight on the 18th. There's Alan Craig 0 for 3. 3-3 tie, 8th inning. Ball 2. Got a Cardinal fan staying warm. I would take any hat right now. I would take any size, any shape, any color.
Might even take a Blue Jays hat. Nah, couldn't do it.
Foul ball.
Sorry.
Because of 93?
Because of you.
Oh, because of me. I just lived there, man. I just lived there.
Yeah.
Would you take that hat?
That's the one.
You know,
that is the one.
You know how we said there are U's in every ballpark in 20 years? That's a U.
Yeah.
That's a younger you right there.
Need to start eating.
Big day for the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Up 2-0 in their series against the Wild now.
I'm not big on the tying things underneath the If I knew how to draw on the screen, I'd do it, but I'm afraid
you can't draw on that.
It would never.
It's not one of those.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's not.
Well,
you can draw on it, but nothing's going to happen. And another ground ball, and that's the inning. To the bottom of the 8th, Ed Wrigley. The Cardinals and Cubs are tied at 3.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd.
as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is a 3-3 tie between the Cardinals and the Cubs, and we have a number of changes right now for the Cardinals, beginning with Peter Borges coming into the game in center field, moving Randall Grichuk from center to right. Alan Craig is out of the game as Grichuk moves to right field, and Borges batting in the 9th spot of the new pitcher is left-hander Kevin Segrist, who goes into Craig's spot, the 5th spot in the lineup. And some lefties scheduled here for the Cubs as Segrist comes in. Off to a good start last year, had a great year. Good start this year, excuse me. Had a great year last year. A strike at the knees, in and out of the glove of Molina. Segrist a year ago in 39 2/3 innings gave up 17 hits and struck out 50. And had an ERA of 0.45, and he was a 41st round pick. 1,234 players were selected before Kevin Segrist in 2008.
Apparently they don't like that 97 from the left side. I don't know. Maybe they didn't think it would play in this league. You wonder what the thought process goes into some of these guys.
93 on the edge. One down. Meanwhile, in the Cub bullpen, right-hander Hector Rondon is up. He has saved the last 2 games, Friday and yesterday, for the Cubs. Jose Veras was the closer at the beginning of the year, pitched himself out of that job, now on the DL. And Rick Renteria said he had a number of options and still describes it as a fluid situation in the 9th inning. But that fluid situation has led him to the same guy each of the last 3 days. Now, this may or may not be a safe situation, but just the fact that Rondon is up right now suggests where he ranks in the pecking order.
Yeah, and it was interesting because he said he would like to stay away from him in this game today because, like you said, he has saved the last 3 games. But if you bring him in a tie situation.
Junior Lake pinch hitting. Lake went 3 for 3 with a homer yesterday.
I guess you figure if you're not going to use Rendon, you might as well get him in there for an inning while it's still tied. I'm sure Renteria would love to see Junior Lake go deep right here.
That's what he was trying to do. Not a fan of the cold weather. One and one the count. Right on the outside corner, 1-2. Lance Lynn wins 6. Carlos Martinez the 7th. Now Kevin Segrist in the bottom of the 8th, 3-3 tie. Two down.
I can see now why he didn't go to 400.
1235th.
Whatever. Much of a chance there for Junior Lake.
John Baker at least gets a piece of one as he fouls it back.
Yeah, this might not end up well for John Baker either. Well, you know, when you're struggling at the plate and he's not hitting well, you kind of hope that, I mean, 83. You know, sometimes you want to see a lefty, but not this kind of lefty.
Shows bunt, takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-2.
There's the great indicator. 2 outs, tie game, 8th inning, and you're thinking about bunting. If he throws a slider here, this is over.
Missed with the slider. What's in your head now as a hitter? You're a left-handed batter facing him and what you've just seen.
I'm looking fastball and hope he can't throw a slider for a strike. And if he does throw a slider, I hope I don't swing at it.
Missed with a fastball. It's funny. 2 pitches, but a lot to think about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now here's a way you can go. You think to yourself, okay, he doesn't want to go 3-2, but he can still throw a slider.
Up and in, swing and a miss on the fastball, and Kevin Segris strikes out the side in the bottom of the 8th. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell Breakfast. Wake up, live Mas. And in part by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB, specially formulated for men. Top 9, Wrigley Field. Cardinals 3, Cubs 3. New pitcher, Hector Rondon. New left fielder, Junior Lake. After he pinch hit and stayed in the game. The batter was Johnny Peralta as Rondon comes in, a hard-throwing right-hander. He has had multiple elbow surgeries, but he's back after his most recent one a year ago, and as you can see, he is delivering the goods, and he has, at least for the meantime, inherited the closer's spot. 9th inning, home game, no more save situation, so you often see a closer pitch in this kind of a situation. But as you said, Rick Renteria said ideally he'd like to stay away from him, but they're looking for a sweep against the arch rivals, keep the momentum going, so he's got Rondon in there.
Yeah, it's not enough to just win your first series of the year. Now it's about getting a sweep against your arch rival.
Wow, that'll work.
Yeah, if Rondon can keep throwing like that, then I think this could be a short inning.
ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball continues tomorrow night, and you'll see the Cardinals again. A Monday Night Baseball presented by USAA as the Cardinals are down in Atlanta. The Braves are reeling now. They've lost 6 in a row. The Cubs and White Sox on the south side. A Wednesday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern presented by T-Mobile. And a week from tonight, we will be in Pittsburgh. Pirates and Cardinals Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Here's Randall Grichuk. Down and away, 2 balls, no strikes. Outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Last time that the Cubs swept a 3-game series from the Cardinals was 2010. That was at Busch Stadium. The last time they did it here was in 2006. And that looks like a 4-game, July 27th to 30th.
That's some very good math.
Thank you.
Boy, you can't slip anything by you.
Come on, Crookie. We've gotten along for over 8 innings here tonight. There's ball 4.
I'm sure Rick Renteria wanted Rondon to try to minimize the number of pitches he throws, and 1-out walk isn't one of the ways to do that.
Mark Ellis, the batter.
Ellis swinging the bat good tonight.
Doubled in a run in the second, had a line drive base hit in the fourth, and a sinking liner to center field that Bonifacio made a great catch on in the seventh. Otherwise, he'd be 3 for 3.
He can hit a fastball, and he's got pull power. Which that wind blowing in doesn't help, does it? That's a left field foul ball or fair ball, whatever you want to call it. Or that's right field, but the left field one's blowing straight in.
And another hit for Ellis. His 3rd of the night. Grichuk stops at second.
I said Mark Ellis can hit a fastball. He can hit anyone's fastball.
So 2 on with 1 out for the Cardinals. Their closer Trevor Rosenthal is getting loose. And coming to the plate for the first time is Peter Borges, who came on in a double switch, a guy they picked up in a deal from the Angels, a tremendous defensive outfielder, but a guy who hasn't hit at all and has lost just about all of his playing time recently, as Chris Bosio, the pitching coach for the Cubs, makes his way to the mound.
Yeah, and this is one of those visits, Dan, where he's just telling him, look, you know, hey, here's what you got. Calm down a little bit. Make good pitches. You're not going to get a double play with, more than likely, with Borges running, unless he just hits a absolute bullet at someone. So make your pitches and let's try to get out of this thing.
Cubs tied it with a run on the bottom of the 7th. Now the Cardinals trying to reclaim the lead here in the top of the 9th. Borges sitting just 157. Down low, ball 1. And you could see he snuck a peek before the pitch came in, just out of the corner of his left eye. Snuck a peek down toward third base to see where Valbuena was.
The last thing you want to do here is bunt.
Yeah,
you've got first and second, tie game, 9th inning. You know, you got Matt Carpenter coming up, who isn't exactly, besides his first at bat, not really stinging it.
Borges steps in 0 for his last 17. Got it off his own leg. upstairs with a breaking ball, 2-1. Carpenter, the leadoff hitter for the Cardinals, is on deck. Rosenthal warming in the pen, hoping for a save opportunity in the bottom half of the inning. Chased a high fastball, 2-2.
That swings from a guy who's struggling, and he wants to try now to be the hero and try to make up for the last 0 for 17, Dan, with one swing of the bat, trying to put his team ahead. You know, if he takes that pitch, now it's 3-1, and now you can look for a better pitch to hit.
Check swing, foul back. You can see he's having to get it started early against Rondon. Sports Center is next here on ESPN, and a Sunday conversation with Doc Rivers. Yasiel Puig hit the wall, and he hit it hard, and the ball actually hitting his head. You'll see the play and the effort he gave as he was injured. And Albert Pujols hit in the head today as well. 2-2, pop foul out of play, and that ball's going to disappear up on the roof and right on out of the ballpark.
Now, which street is that it went out on?
That is
you got
Clark,
that.
I think that's Clark. And Sheffield's behind us. Sheffield's that way. Waveland's that way. So Rondon is fortunate that Borges was out in front. He hung one right over the heart of the plate, but because Borges was cheating on the fastball, he was way out in front there.
Well, that's how you go 0 for 17. You're behind the fastball and ahead of the curveball. We've all been there. We've all done it.
Boy, he's having an at bat though. He's battling.
He had another one on that street out there.
9th pitch of the at bat upcoming.
And every pitch he throws, every pitch Rondon throws, you know, Renteria's in there thinking, oh boy, what, you know, I didn't want to use him, but I want to sweep the Cardinals, so I got to put my best out there. Boy, he's throwing a lot of pitches though.
Wesley Wright's up again on the pen, the lefty.
See Rondon right here. He just got tired of the whole foul ball thing from change-ups and fastballs in. So let me just go up and away and try to see if he can chase one. He swings right underneath that high fastball.
Some dismayed Cardinal fans after that, but they will try to put their hope in Matt Carpenter now. So Rick Renteria has Wright ready, but opts to stay with Rondon.
This guy's good.
Cutter or hard slider there at 89 in on the hands of Carpenter for ball 2. What are you zoning in on here, Crookie?
Well, I mean, your fastball probably away because you don't know if he wants to come inside to you right here. Because, you know, take your chances on hitting it to the shorter throw to the outfield than you would pulling the ball down the right field line, and maybe 2 runs can score.
Ball 3.
He's all over the place. He's bouncing off the mound. You know, he's not in balance at all when he's finishing his delivery, and that's what looms next. One of the hotter hitters on this team, Yadier Molina.
Renteria, Bosio considering their options. Ball 4. Loaded for Molina. Friendly confines aren't sounding so friendly right now. "22 pitches. But now that you've gotten to the right-hand hitting Molina, he doesn't want to take Rondon out and bring in right.
No, and that's the thing. You got enough guys in the bullpen. Maybe you thought, okay, maybe I'll get a righty and a lefty up just in case this situation comes up. But he's sticking with his best.
Molina's 0 for 4 tonight. Rondon's working for his 3rd day in a row. Only 12 and 8 pitches the last 2 days for Rondon.
He threw that many to Borges.
And Molina's 2 for 2 against Rondon in his career. Bases loaded, 2 outs, tie game, 9th inning.
You notice this at bat here. He just first 2 pitches, Yadier Molina's like, you know what? I'm not going to throw breaking. They tried to throw some breaking balls to Carpenter. That didn't work. And now he's just like, you know what? You're going to hit me. You're going to hit my best. Now he might go with a breaking ball. This is where John Baker has to be ready and be prepared to block this pitch. Like showing one breaking ball and see if he'll chase it and then go back to that high fastball.
And Molina's so good at trying to hit the ball the other way, trying to shoot it that way, but fouls it off. It remains 0-2.
Yeah, if that pitch was elevated, I would have liked it a lot more. But down like that, it's too easy to get the bat on the ball.
There's the breaking ball, and he lays off.
You see how he feels about his command right here, but I think I'm trying to come up and in on him. Try to come up in the strike zone and in off the, not in off the plate, a strike up though. Because as a hitter, you're thinking you got to protect the outside.
And again, just try to fend it off, fight it off out of play, and he does to stay alive.
Hey, this is where the pitcher has you over their barrel because you have to protect the whole 17.5 inches of home plate. And that's a difficult thing to do even when you're ahead in the count. But when you're behind in the count, you're more concerned with, okay, I'm going to protect the way and try to fight off the pitch in.
And a ground ball through into center field, a base hit. And 2 runs will come in to score. Didn't hit it hard. Renteria will make the change. Going to the left-hander now. Take another look. Got a 4-hopper off the bat of Molina after he fouled off a couple of tough pitches, but he finds a hole up the middle, and it's a 2-run single to give the Cardinals a 5-3 lead here in the top of the 9th. A game of inches, eh, Crucky?
It was a foot, though.
The Cardinal fans love it. The Cub fans dismayed. St. Louis leads. Stephen cannot get the out that he needs in the 9th inning. He walks 2, gives up 2 hits, has given up 2 runs. A seeing eye base hit by Yadier Molina, a 2-run single to give the Cardinals a 5-3 lead in the top of the 9th inning. And Wesley Wright comes into the game and now for the Cubs to face Matt Holliday, the left-hander making his 10th appearance of the season. Rosenthal still throwing in that Cardinal pen. He'll now have a lead to try to protect as he comes in the bottom of the 9th. And a high fly ball to shallow right field for Scherholz to end the inning. To the bottom of the 9th, the Cubs coming up down by 2. Welcome back to Chicago. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Cardinals 5, Cubs 3 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. It's been a fun night, huh?
We should do this more often.
It's been an interesting night.
I didn't think I would like it,
yeah,
but it's been fun.
It has been fun.
Fans have been very respectful. And
Darwin Barney takes a strike. The fans have been wonderful. That's a good point. We should say the fans have been wonderful.
Outstanding.
Yeah. It was Trevor Rosenthal. Remember, became the closer late last year, was consistently kind of 98, 99 last year. The velocity's been down a little bit this year. I mean, we're talking 95, but down from where it was last season. 96 there. As a hitter, is 96 that much different than 99? Is there much change there for
No, not really.
They both sound fast?
It's very quick. Not a lot of reaction time. And in this weather,
yeah,
fun. It's a blast.
Out number 1 as Rosenthal paints the corner. So Cardinal pitchers have struck out the last 5 batters. Carlos Martinez getting Starlin Castro in the 7th. Kevin Seager struck out the side in the 8th. And now Rosenthal gets Barney to start the 9th, bringing up pinch hitter Wellington Castillo. Castillo, the number 1 catcher for the Cubs. Had 3 doubles on Friday. As you can see, is off to a solid start.
Well, Buster Olney in our production meeting today said he came up as a middle infielder. Big old middle infielder. Wow. Or he, as a teenager, he was a middle infielder, and scout told him he should try catching, and he said no and quit for 3 months.
Worked out pretty well. Quickest path to the big leagues, they say sometimes.
Yeah.
Strike of the knees. Bonifacio's on deck. Then Valbuena, then Rizzo if they can get it that far. Down 2 here in the 9th inning. Chopper to third. 2 down. Well, as we said, it's been a fun night. We've never had an opportunity to do a game anywhere like here. You're looking from third base now. We're out in the right field bleachers, and this has been our spot tonight. We sang. We did what we could. And
let's be honest. Let's tell everyone we lip sync. We taped that earlier.
We did lip sync. We taped it. Yeah, we taped it earlier.
Yeah. This
Thank
is
God
Millie,
for Grant. But the fans were great. Thanks to the Cubs and thanks to everybody on our crew who worked really, really hard to make this happen and give us a fun night. Hopefully make it fun and different for you guys as well watching at home. We got to do maybe a Atop the Monster in Boston. What do you think? Can we make that happen?
Sure.
You want to do an Atop the Monster?
Yeah.
I like that. Ooh, pitch sails all the way to the backstop.
I tell you what, I don't know how Angel Hernandez missed that one.
I don't think Bonifacio was impressed by that at all. That's no fun.
5-3, 2 outs, 30 degrees, 98 over the screen. They haven't left yet.
3-0.
Well, I told you, if he gets on base, Valbuena can turn around anyone's fastball.
Grant's still here. He's a gamer.
He can't go home. He probably got paparazzi outside his house right now.
Ball 4. And the tying run will come to the plate.
Telling you, Dan, Valbuena can hit a fastball. Tell you, I'm surprised that Matt Adams is holding Bonifacio on with a 2-run lead. He played back. I don't want to slow roll to roll past you.
Yep.
Now you got Rizzo up. If that happens, you get Rizzo up with a 1st and 3rd situation because.
So here's Molina. We talked so much, Crucky, about his work as a catcher throwing out runners, but if you talk to the St. Louis staff, the first thing they talk about is it's almost like another coach on the field, the way he manages and handles the pitchers.
Yeah, and when you see pitching coaches have to run out to the mound every time the guy gets out of sync, and then you have to worry about the second visit having to take him out. Yadier goes out there as the pitching coach.
Ball 2.
There they move behind him.
And into second base goes Bonifacio.
Here's a danger pitch right here for Rosenthal. They said Valbuena can hit a fastball.
Takes one, 2-1.
What happened with that pitch? Too good? It might be one of those where they told him, you're down 2. We're taking a strike until we get someone on, and he didn't hear the someone on.
Wasn't taking that one. 2-2. Cubs down to their final strike.
Well, if Rosenthal has a breaking ball, I believe I'm throwing it up there right now. And he does have a breaking ball, or changeup. He has
got both. There's the changeup. But now, if you're Valbuena.
Well, here's the thing. I was watching a spring training game. Rosenthal was pitching. He threw 5 changeups to one hitter in a row, back to back to back to back. I think that's 5. So you can use his aggressiveness against you right here and throw another one.
Holiday cannot make the catch. And into second base is Valbuena. Into scores Bonifacio. And they're not done yet. Anthony Rizzo is the batter. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He is 1 for 4 in his career against Rosenthal. The one is a home run.
They mentioned Valbuena, how he can hit anybody's fastball, and this is one of those. Okay, I'm going to throw you a fastball. I'm going to throw it away so you can't pull it for power. But Valbuena puts a charge in that one to left center field. And boy, Matt Holliday almost made a spectacular play on that baseball. And now we have some action.
I got a question for you. As Rosenthal sees how close they came to winning the game, Grant's fired up. The whole family's fired up. Here's Rizzo. Change up for a strike.
You might see another one. This could be one of those at-bats where, okay, I'm going to throw you 2 or 3 change-ups in a row to see if you'll.
But he better get the next one a little lower, right?
Well, yeah, but it's still the change of speed. It's a 10-mile-an-hour change of speed.
Yeah.
It's still not an easy thing to hit.
95, 0-2.
86 changeup, 95. I love being up here. I ever tell you how much I love being up here?
I was just waiting for you to say that. Change up and a ground ball to first, and the race is on, and the Cardinals win it, and they win the game. The Cubs get 1 but leave the tying run at second base. They cannot sweep their arch rivals. The Cardinals salvaging the final game and ending the Cubs winning streak at 3. Good weekend series between these two teams. The Cardinals head down to Atlanta. You'll see them tomorrow night, Monday Night Baseball on ESPN. The Cubs will stay home and take on the White Sox tomorrow night. A fun evening here at Wrigley Field, to say the least. And we enjoyed bringing it to you. Baseball tonight is next. Is tomorrow night on ESPN. Coming up next here tonight is SportsCenter. The Cardinals beat the Cubs 5-4. For John Kruk, Buster Olney, and our crew, I'm Dan Shulman saying so long from Chicago.